love for the Lord. Scripture from Philippians chapter 4, verse 11 through 14. Not that I speak from want, for I have learned to be content in whatever circumstances I am. I know how to get along with humble means, and I also know how to live in prosperity. In any and every circumstance, I have learned the secret of being filled and going hungry, both of having abundance and suffering need. I can do all things through Him who strengthens me. Nevertheless, you have done well to share with me in my affliction. I've been preaching the unification with the Lord for a long time. I know now God is not that far away from me. He's right here, united with me. Knowing that He's close by me makes me want to meet Him in person. I want to feel His presence. Let me talk to you about my love for the Lord. Looking back, I realized that life is pretty tough and we have encountered a fair share of hardships and tests. These tests are still ongoing in our everyday life. We often see this word test in the Bible, which goes all the way back to Abraham and the wilderness wandering of Israel, Job, and even Jesus had to face a test. And of course, we all have to endure this test too. Who is testing us then? It could be yourself, God, or devil used by God. But it all boils down to my own problems. Tests are often designed to qualify someone, not to fail someone. The devil chooses destruction as a way of testing us, yet the Lord uses Satan to save us. Today I want to discuss what we go through when we pass those tests. The book of Ephesians, Philippians, Colossians, and Philemon are often called the prison epistles, written by Apostle Paul during his imprisonment in an effort to thank Philippians for the sharing they sent him. Paul supported himself by making tents while living and preaching in Philippi. I'm sure his ministry was not easy under that conditions, yet their sharing was all the more meaningful and powerful. I will highlight the self-sufficiency in his ministry. When we say competency, we often think the ability to achieve something. However, Paul described it as self-sufficiency, which comes from your mind, not from the requirements and the conditions you meet to be sufficient. He says he can do all things not through what he had endured, but through Him who strengthens me. We need to remember we can do all things, as Paul mentioned, not through our hardships, but through Him who strengthens us. When Paul says you can do all things, he is talking about self-containment. If we really think about what he meant, what he meant, self-containment is not something that you're just satisfied with the current condition, no matter what. In fact, it does not depend on how little or how much you have. It depends on you, your mind, because our need and requirements are all coming from our mind. Eve ate the fruits of the tree of knowledge, hoping that she would be able to gain perfect wisdom that otherwise she could not have. But Paul knew everything is possible only through God. God is the one who strengthens and empowers us, and He's living united with us. And the very journey that this becomes my own testimony and confession is the test we are undergoing. After successfully passing the test, we realize the love for the Lord will bring about love for ourselves. the renewed selves within the Lord. This is the self-containment Paul was referring to. When you are truly self-contained through God, you will be able to share this love with others as well.